Hey, hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Nikhil, and in this video, we are talking about how we can insert a video ads into the actual content. So, there are two main ways by which we can insert ad. The first one is client side ad insertion, and second one is server side ad insertion. In CSAI, client handles everything. Client request ad from ad server, it passes the ad response, it also take care of switching between ad and the actual content, and it also take care of triggering all the ad tracking event that 25% of content is completed, content is paused, content is in background. All these tracking events will be fired by the client SDK. On the other hand, we'll look into all these steps in detail in the later part of the video. So in SSAI, server handles everything. Server interacts with the ad server, it fetches the ad and stitches that ad into the content playlist. So whatever HLS and dash playlist you are getting, it will by default have ad segments inserted in between. Got SDK and services. In CSAI, in order to perform all these four operations, we use client-side SDK called Google IMA SDK. This SDK takes care of performing all the client-side operations. On the other hand, in SSAI, in order to implement video stitching and manifest manipulation, we use popular cloud services like AWS MediaTailor and Google Video Stitcher API. Pros and cons. Both of these approach, CSAI and SSAI, have its own pros and cons. In CSAI, personalized ads are possible. As client is making request to the ad server, we can easily pass some additional metadata and we can get a personalized ad. Other thing, client itself is triggering all the tracking event that content is paused, played, 25% completed, etc. So we get a very better and accurate ad tracking. The cons of the CSAI is ad blockers. As client is making request to the ad server, client can easily block this request using some ad blockers or some proxy tools, and they can skip the ad. So this is the major disadvantage of using CSAI. Next one is impact on VST. So even before content starts, client needs to make a request to the ad server to fetch the ad. So this will definitely impact the VST of the content. On the other hand, in SSAI, ad blocking is not an issue because ad segments are by default inserted into the content playlist. So for a client, it is very hard to block those segments. Second thing, we are not performing any operation at the client side, so there is no impact on a video startup time. But the major con of the server-side ad insertion is personalization. In SSAI, implementing personalized ads is very difficult and it's very hard to scale. Let's try to understand IMA SDK architecture. IMA stands for Interactive Multimedia Ads. The main starting component in the IMA SDK is ad display container. It renders the ad, it also measures the visibility of the ad for the compliance. This ad display container creates the ad loader instance. Ad loader instance make ad request to the ad server. What is ad server? Ad server is a host which contains a actual ad media file, and it gives response in a VAST and VMAP format. So this is the most practical definition of any ad server. It holds the media files, ad media files, and it gives the response in a VAST and VMAP format. What is VAST and VMAP format? So VAST stands for video ad serving template. So any ad server will give you response in the standard XML format, and it will contain following information like media files, ad tracking event, duration of the ad, whether ad is linear or non-linear. Linear ads are those ads which interrupts the content and then starts the ad playback. Non-linear ads are just a overlay which appears along with the content playback. They do not pause the content. Along with all this, it also contains one tag called error. So if any error happens during the ad playback, this particular endpoint needs to be triggered. Next thing, VMAP. VMAP is just a playlist of vast endpoints. So let's say if in your given content, if there are multiple ads, pre-roll, mid-roll and post-roll, then server will not send you a single vast file. It will send you a VMAP file, and this VMAP file will internally point to a vast response. In this example, this VMAP file is telling me that there are 3 ad breaks. The first one is a pre-roll. From time offset, I can say it is a pre-roll. Next one have very specific time offset, and that's why it is a mid-roll ad. And the last time offset is end, which is post-roll ad. And it contains one endpoint which is pointing to a vast response. Once we get a vast and VMAP response, and my ad manager is also initialized, it will listen to all the ad events, and based on those ad events, it will control the playback of the ad. Let's look into the code implementation. Here I am using Exoplayer IMA Extension. This extension takes care of everything. We don't have to manually listen to ad events from IMA SDK and control playback. Exoplayer takes care of that internally. Here we first need to create a media source factory, and we need to pass a local ad insertion component, and in this component we are passing ad loader instance and player view. In order to create an ad loader instance, we need to use IMA ad loader.builder. We can set ad event listener here, and we can even modify and pass some custom IMA SDK settings here as well. So this is the first step. We are passing ad loader and player view in my media source factory. After that, we are creating Exoplayer using the same media source factory. Next thing is we need to create a media item which will have a content URL as well as the ad tag. So first we are creating ad configuration, media item.add configuration.builder. Inside that we are passing ad tag. So this ad tag is pointing to my ad server, and it will give a vast and VMAP response. Once ad configuration is created, I am setting this ad configuration on my content media item using set ad configuration method. Next, we just need to set this media item to the Exoplayer and call prepare. And this will start the client-side ad insertion playback. Let's look into the demo. So here, as soon as I hit play, my ad loader instance made a call to ad server to download a VMAP response. This is the VMAP response, and it's telling me that there are 3 ad breaks: pre-roll, mid-roll and post-roll. After that, my ad loader made one more call to download the vast response of the pre-roll. So this is the vast response. It's telling me that I have a pre-roll ad with duration of 10 seconds. It contains one error tag, so if any error happens during the playback, I'll need to trigger this particular endpoint. Along with that, some tracking event: start, first quartile, midpoint, third quartile. So and also there are some pause and resume tracking event as well. So resume the content, corresponding analytics event will be triggered. If I pause the content, the analytics tracking event will be triggered for the pause activity. My pre-roll ad is completed. Now I can stick to 15 seconds, so I can see another ad request for requesting the vast response of mid-roll ad. My mid-roll ad started. Now there is no ad in between. I can directly stick to end because there is a post-roll ad at the end. Okay, and I think so this is my final vast call to download the post-roll ad information, and my post-roll is playing now. For our SSAI demo, I am using AWS MediaTailor service. I already created this configuration called YT SSAI Demo. Here, this video content source is pointing me to original manifest in which we have not added any ad segments. And this HLS playback prefix is pointing to a modified playlist in which ad segments are stitched. We'll be using this particular endpoint for our demo. Okay, my pre-roll ad started. This is my master manifest, and it's telling me that there are 3 different tracks: 1080p, 720p and 480p. My player selected, I guess it selected a 0 track, and here exactly we can see that there are ad segments stitched in between. These segments are not coming from the original manifest path, they are coming from my MediaTailor configuration. They are coming from the YT SSAI demo configuration. So this particular block between EXTX discontinuity is denoting the pre-roll ad. After that, main content, and again there is a mid-roll ad, and after that main content, and again finally post-roll ad. So that's how SSAI works. We have stitched the ad segments in between the main content segments. Thanks.